So there we go. Now we're streaming live on YouTube. And hi, everybody. We're here now for A Course in Miracles Children's Edition. And those who have joined us for that, um, we're going live on YouTube also. So we've got that going for us. And then this evening, I'm going to go ahead and put on my camera for a minute. Right? Think. There we go. There I am. So this evening also we have our coming up our uh, deep dive into A Course in Miracles, and we're in the clarification of terms. So join us on Thursday evenings also. But go ahead and put that book up there, Miss Ozzy, and I think we are ready to get going.
We're on
And
Miracle
again, I'm not sure
Principle
why
20.
20. And do you see a black bar across the screen here? Maybe you don't. Okay, there you
Yeah,
go.
it's just because of the that bar for the share screen, and I've hid it. I'm
Oh,
hiding those meeting controls, so it shouldn't show it now. I just shut it
okay.
off.
All right. Yeah, just a little bit of a black bar. I'm not sure what that is, but it's okay. There we go. It's gone.
Yeah,
It's gone now.
just a message that said press escape if you want that bar back. So I'm just gonna stay unmuted but quiet because that I don't have that bar showing.
Okay, that sounds good. Okay, good. So yeah, I've really been enjoying this, and I've also been enjoying, I think the other day when you were sharing with Rev Wayne, you were sharing some of the children's edition stuff as well. And why I think this is so beautiful is because it really helps even adult people who are having problems with concepts. It really helps us to see it better. So we're on number 20, and who would like to read that? How about I read it
Yeah.
since I'm okay. Miracle Principle number 20. Miracles, the magical truth detector. Let's chat about miracles, these super duper magical moments that remind us of something amazing. They help us see that our spirit, which is like our super secret truth detector, is way more important than our body. It's like having a special superpower. When we realize this, it's like unlocking a treasure chest full of healing power. Miracles are like little sparks of magic that help us remember that our spirit is the key to making everything better. So, next time you feel a miracle happening, remember it's like your very own truth detector lighting up the path to happiness. So, Miracles Magical Truth Detector. And let me find my own book here and see what number 20 says in here. Um, Miracles reawaken the awareness, the spirit, not the body, is the altar of truth. This is the recognition that leads to the healing power of the miracle. And that is from the original edition, which I think is the one that the miracle principles that Devin used in this version. So miracles reawaken the awareness that the spirit, not the body, is the altar of truth. This is the recognition that leads to the healing power of the miracle. So we're really talking about the healing power of the miracle being that it awakens us to the truth that it's our spirit that's in charge, not our body. And so this is really good for children to see and understand. I know I've had conversations with my granddaughter who's interested in such things, and she's 5, she'll be 6 this year. And talking to her about the fact that she is spirit and that spirit or soul or whatever you want to call it is the reality of our being that lives on, and that lives always, is eternal. Of course, it's hard, kind of hard for her, but not really. I mean, these kids are watching these Marvel movies and they're seeing a lot of stuff about a kind of world that could exist that's uh, a lot more spiritual than what I grew up with. Although, I think about it and I know that I grew up with the idea, because I was Catholic, that the spirit does live on forever and ever. Oh yeah. And that we never die. We just, if we leave when we leave our body, we go into another world, another life. Um, and so that might, I mean, I grew up believing that my whole life. And the only difference being that, they told me that, if you were good and whatever, jumped through all the hoops, right, that you would go to heaven, to paradise. And if you were bad, and that could include anything like lying to your mother or, stepping on a bug, I don't know, whatever, was bad, you were going to go burn forever in a pit of fire, which is not a real good thing to be telling your children. I think it's actually kind of abusive, but people do it anyway. And terrify them, their family, their children with these ideas. But this message is teaching children that we have a spirit. The spirit is um, the truth and reality of what we are. It lives forever, um, and that's the key to making everything better. That's the thing that we need um, to connect with in order to find joy in our lives. So otherwise, you know, kids can grow up with a real sense of despair because they don't have this confirmation or affirmation of the power of the spirit, the power of their own being. And, like I know for myself for a fact that when I was young child, I was very aware of myself as spirit. And, it was only later that I began to doubt about it. But in reality, I've always been really aware of myself as spirit. So, confirming that or affirming that and, given some credence to my experiences, I think really would have changed my life if my teachers or my parents or someone else had experienced or treated me like I was I knew something or had something. But of course they all, they were so scared themselves, they didn't want to upset the church and they didn't want to upset, they didn't want anybody to be upset. So for them, the thing that was more important was for me to just what do you call it? Just 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 go along with what they were telling me and not make exceptions about it and not raise my hand in class and say, but sister, I don't think God would do a thing like that. Because that was the big confusion, was believing that, I could not believe that this God that I had an experience of as a spirit, that God would have done or could have been the kind of person that I expect him to be. And in fact, um, we were just talking about this last night here at the house, because I read a thing, a guy was talking about, he was in prison and someone gave him a Bible and he became uh, a Christian. Now, I have a feeling that they didn't give him the whole Bible. I have a feeling maybe they gave him like the New Testament or something. Because if they gave him the whole Bible and he started reading from Genesis, any person with a sense of moral standards would come up with a conclusion very quickly that God was insane and that he was likely to do any kind of crazy thing, to his beloved children. There's no way that you could read that and think, oh, I love this guy and I want to connect with God. Mostly you're like, I want to avoid this thing at all costs because, this guy is likely to throw me in a pit or lake of fire forever. Anyway, just my thought. Does anybody else have any thoughts on number 20? Now my phone is ringing, so I'm going to mute my mic for a minute.
Okay. Well, I was distracted for 20, so I'm out of the convo. Anybody else? How about I go on and read 21? Yeah, I think I'm unmuted. Let me just check. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna read this 21 miracles, super forgiveness, superpowers. Super forgiveness, superpowers. 21. Let's talk about miracles, which are like your super forgiveness superpowers. Imagine forgiving someone when they do something not so nice, like a superhero forgiving a villain. Well, guys, we gotta get Disney to be more compassionate, or whoever does the comic ones, and get them to like each other more, these villains and superheroes. Miracles happen when we use this amazing power to say, I forgive you, not just to make things better for ourselves, but also for others. It's like passing on a big warm hug from God to our friends and even to people we might not know very well. So when you see a miracle, remember it's like spreading super forgiveness everywhere. And that makes the world a happier and kinder place for everyone. Now, that's gorgeous. I have, what did I just do? I just click something. 21. I have 21 pulled up here, and I do have the sparkly edition that I'm reading from because that's where they took that's how they made the children's edition, was with the sparkly. And I understand that some of the miracle principles are different. So I'm reading from the PDF that Reverend Devon sent, or that you can access through Reverend Devon. There is a link if anyone needs it. I'm happy to post it. 21, miracles are natural expressions of total forgiveness. Through miracles, man accepts God's forgiveness by extending it to others. And so is total forgiveness meaning that it never happened, or total forgiveness in that sort of human sense? That's sort of interesting, because I guess in the children's principles, we're going to have to keep it dual for the time being, which is what the course is. It is in levels, like the duality for this ego mind, and then we can move up to see the oneness. So yeah, that's a great one. Anybody else? Just jump in because I can't see. Rev Wayne, come on. I did see your hand. Come on.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, I think that was a great, the definition is a great definition for a miracle as the expression. You have another one is the expression of love also, and you have that is the total forgiveness, which connects you immediately to to forgiving and forgetting. Because the minute you get to forgetting and forgetting, then you're open to express love immediately, because you've gotten to a place where you don't even remember what happened. And
Mm.
You know what I mean? And so now you're totally forgiven the person. You've forgiven the person for the person never did. And now I'm not connected to the truth, and the person that I'm only seeing the present now, and the person is you know
Mm.
what I mean? And it's beautiful, and it says so plainly here, and I'm always looking to kind of solidify all the different definitions for miracles that are here. There's 3 or 4 different definitions. It'd be a nice theme to look into. It's like looking at all different definitions of miracles. I mean, that's what this whole thing is about. But it come out to the 3 or 4 definitions overall. It seems of what different definitions of miracles. You know, there's the direction of love, and there's the shifting of consciousness, and the expressing of total forgiveness, and they're all kind of come from different angles. Shifting of consciousness being my favorite though. I think that's the stem of everything. You know. But I just think it was a wonderful little way of expressing the miracle. It was total forgiveness, total forgiveness. Awesome.
Oh, thank you, Rev Wayne. You know, it made me think of in the past, you know, the saying, I'll forgive you, but I'm never gonna forget. I'm not gonna forget. And that keeps me in the story when I'm saying, okay, I forgive that person, but the story keeps coming up in the mind. I haven't forgiven the person because
Yeah.
I've experienced it when I'm like, okay, like, and I'm talking within 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I'll be, you know, something irritated me with Mike, and then I'm doing this and he answers, and then I'm like, what was I mad about? Like it was already gone before, like it's almost like it happened instantaneously. And it was like, oh, it never even happened. It's gone. So that was a beautiful experience too, because I couldn't understand that. I'm like, what do you mean it never happened? Well, that experience comes when this one doesn't even have a story attached to it. It never happened. Like I have nothing to reference, except maybe if there's well, there is no feeling with it. It's gone. So yeah, thank you.
But wake up from a dream. It's like waking up from a
Yeah.
dream. And eventually it will just dissolve into the nothingness from which it came. It's not even the memory. Sometimes it's that you might remember a dream, but usually it just goes away. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Yeah, nice. Thank you. Beautiful. Anybody else?
Hi, it's me, Ricky.
Hi,
And
Ricky. Mhm.
hi, guys. It's wonderful to be here. Um, when it comes to forgiveness, what for me, what I'm forgiving is the thoughts that were created in whatever situation I'm hanging on to. So I really do specifically look for those thoughts that are bubbling up, and those are the ones that when I forgive, I'm not forgiving a person, I'm not forgiving. Oh, I have, but now it's mostly about forgiving whatever thought is around it. Like stupid perverts, or gee, if he ever does that again, that's the kind of thinking that I really work on releasing. And because without that, I can stay neutral and I'm not judging anything. Thanks.
Oh, beautiful reminder, Ricky. Yes, just the thought, even before it develops into a full-fledged story, just the thoughts um, that are seen means there is something in me that's focusing on that. So thank you. Just that reminder that, oh, I have this thought. Can I just let it go like other thoughts that I see that I can let go? Or is there something here for me to look at and say, I want to see this differently? And asking when I can't see it differently, when it isn't this automatic process. Thank you, Ricky. Very, very great. Are we ready to move to 22? Does somebody want to read it? Ricky, Rev Wayne, I don't know who else is in the room, Dove.
I can, honey. I can.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
We're doing 22.
Please.
Okay. Miracles and not so tricky hiding game. Let's explore the world of miracles and this funny thing called hiding. Imagine that sometimes we get scared because we think darkness can hide things from us, like when you can't find your favorite toy in a dark room. But guess what? Miracles are like a magical flashlight that helps us see through the dark. First, we learn that darkness can't really hide anything. Even if it seems a little bit scary at first, that's the first step. And it might make us a little scared, like when you play hide and seek and can't find your friends. But then the second step is super cool. We realize there's nothing we want to hide, not even if we could. It's like saying, I'm not afraid anymore because I'm awesome just the way I am. So when you understand these two steps, you can escape from fear and be the fearless adventurer you were born to be. Amen.
Mhm. Amen. Do you have anything else to share, Ricky, with that?
It just, for me, it's all of it, because being raised, in an era when there was the boogeyman hiding under the bed and everything, and people with secrets, and in the horror movies and all this stuff, to reach a place where this was, they're telling the kids there's nothing to hide from anyway, and there really is nothing there because it's all light, the way they're talking about it, and they put it in two steps, so you're not getting it thrown in your face. You're just able to, oh, I understand that, and now I understand that. So I really, this is one of the places I smiled when I saw this one, because it really helps the kids get over the world and the way, we all have something we're supposed to be protected from and all that. Thanks.
Oh, thank you so much. Beautiful. Well, this is interesting to me because I would like to go into this, because we have in FIP, this is where a big change is. 22 is like a 3 sentences, but then in the sparkly, there's a little more meat. So I'd like to share both. FIP Miracle Principle 22 says, miracles are associated with fear only because of the belief that darkness can hide. You believe that what your physical eyes cannot see does not exist. This leads to a denial of spiritual sight. Okay. And then the sparkly says, Miracle Principle 22, miracles are associated with fear only because of the fallacious belief that darkness can hide, in all caps. Man believes that what he cannot see does not exist, and his physical eyes cannot see in the dark. This is a very primitive solution and has led to a denial of the spiritual eye. Spiritual eye is later replaced by the Holy Spirit, and the physical eye becomes the ego. The emphasis on the two ways of seeing, however, remains throughout. And then it says, the escape from darkness involves two stages. The first, the recognition that darkness cannot hide, in capital letters, cannot hide. Cannot as capitalized. This step usually entails fear. The recognition that there is nothing you want to hide, even if you could. This step brings escape from fear. Wow, I'm just really, really loving that extra verbiage in the sparkly. I feel like I'm missing out on something now reading the blue book, but I know it's all perfect. And this explanation in 22 of the children's edition, again, I just think it's just so much simpler. Like, it's helping me. It's a magical flashlight that helps us see through the dark. And when you first shut out the lights and it's completely black, it's like panicking right then. But I already know that if I just wait a little bit, these eyes will adjust and I'll be able to see. So yeah, beautiful, beautiful message. Thank you, everybody. Any more comments on Miracle Principle 22? Rev Wayne, please.
Yeah, I think this reminds me that when my kids were younger, how they used to be scared there was a monster in the room or something like that, and they would get under the covers and they were safe. And I would say to them, look, if there was a monster in the room, why would you be safe under the covers as opposed to out of the covers? And that's when they collect. You're right. I guess you're right. You're safer under the covers than you are outside the covers. And see how silly it is to think there's a monster in the room. Something dawns on you. And it reminds me of what he was saying is how the darkness is not going to hurt you. It can't hurt you. This is right there. But then we sit right here, and it makes us scared when they hide and seek. I mean, I forget where it was, but it says darkness can hide from us, and you can't find your favorite toy in the room. You can't. I think Ricky was talking about it. You cannot. The darkness can't hide. You can't hide in the dark. I mean, nothing can hide in the dark, and there's nothing in the dark at all. You know, and when you light up the room with knowledge and wisdom, it was easy for the kids to see. And that's the thing about kids; they have nothing blocking them at all, and they have natural fears of the dark for whatever reasons. And then you tell them the truth. That's it. They wake up. But guess what? Miracles are magical flashes to help us see through the dark. It's true. It's as easy as that.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Rev Wayne. Anybody else? Miracle Principle 23, Miracles, the Great Puzzle Solvers. Any reader volunteers for that one? Okay, I'm going to read it. Miracles, the Great Puzzle Solvers. Miracles are like the magical pieces that help us see everything in the right way. Imagine a jigsaw puzzle where the pieces were all mixed up. That would be pretty confusing, right? Well, sometimes our thoughts and feelings get all mixed up too, and that can make us feel not so great. But guess what? Miracles come to the rescue. They rearrange how we see things. And Rev Wayne, this makes me think, here we go, another definition of miracles or another aspect. They come to the rescue. They rearrange how we see things, just like putting puzzle pieces in their correct spots. This makes us feel better at every level, like when you're not feeling well and a warm hug makes you feel better, or a cup of chicken noodle soup. When you're super honest about how you feel and what you think, it's like saying, I'm okay with being me. That's when you really understand peace and joy, and you can share that with others too. You might still have lots to learn, just like when you're figuring out a new game, but that's okay because learning is super fun. And when you're all balanced, you can teach others as much as you learn, like sharing your cool toys. Nice. I think that's the end of that. So that was 23. I guess I could read 23 from the Sparkly. Here we go. Miracles rearrange perception and place the levels of perception in true perspective. This heals at all levels because sickness comes from confusing the levels. When you have become willing to hide nothing, you will not only be willing to enter into communion, but will also understand peace and joy. Your commitment is not yet total, and that is why you still have more to learn than to teach. When your equilibrium stabilizes, you will be able to teach as much as you learn, which will give you the proper balance. Meanwhile, remember that no effort is wasted, for unless you remember this, You cannot avail yourself of my efforts, which are limitless. Only eternity is real. Why not use the illusion of time constructively? Yeah, why not? Jesus says we're much too tolerant of mind wandering. And I love that we're talking about the jigsaw puzzle to the kids, because that is how I feel sometimes. It's like this other piece of the puzzle just gets thrown into the spot. Like, I'm like, I can't see. Where's the piece? Where's the piece? And ta-da, there it is. Anybody else have comments on Miracle Principle 23?
I do. Over the years, and this just reminds me of it. I've taken my inspiration from as many places as I can, and it was years and years ago when they came out with He-Man, Masters of the Universe and all that stuff. It was a movie, and the thing that has always stuck with me is they said a miracle is getting what you need the most when you need it the most. And that's what this puzzle piece thing is speaking to me about. Thanks.
Well, thank you very much, Ricky. Thank you. Any other shares for us, for our miracles? Great puzzle pieces. Should move on. Michelle, thank you. Or is it Michelle? Yeah, come on up.
Really. Yeah, I agree with what she said, that if there's a need, I've always found, as long as I have the trust, that unexpectedly a miracle shows up, and it's like, wow, I wasn't even expecting that, and it's like it was just brought to me. So it's to have that trust, and it just flows. It's like a piece of a puzzle. It just fits right in. So I just wanted to share that. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. And thank you for being here. I appreciate you coming and sharing about Course in Miracles Children's Edition. Beautiful. Should we move on to 24? Somebody gonna read?
I'll read.
Great.
Okay. You're a super miracle maker. Did you know that miracles are like superpowers that can help heal the sick and even bring back the pretend dead stuff? It's because we have this incredible ability to fix things we made go wrong in the first place. Like when we build a tower of blocks and it falls down, but then we can build it back up even taller. You see, everything that's not nice, like being sick or feeling really sad, we sort of made it up ourselves, like making up a not so fun story. But guess what? You are so amazing that you can create things just like your super awesome creator. So all those not so nice things are just like silly dreams that aren't real. Only the stuff filled with light and love, the things you create with your heart, those are the real treasures. This is absolutely just beautiful, the whole book. And, it's funny because we really are children,
Yeah.
and the vulnerability or just the humility of knowing that we don't know anything. Like a book like this, I think it's more for adults, but then, I'm not sure, maybe depending on the age, right? Because my granddaughter just started therapy and she's 15 and she has constant anxiety. And I don't feel, I'm not being called to give her this book yet, or whether or not she'll be interested. But for some people, when they start A Course in Miracles, it could be a little bit harder. This is just explaining. I mean, Devin did a fabulous job of explaining what, in a childlike way, what we can do is a miracle. But, miracles are controlled by Jesus, and that's who we really are. But as we think we are these people, we can't do that. And that's why, he says in the course that we have to give it to him or the Holy Spirit, So I don't know if Devon's book says that. Now, I got the lesson one. I didn't get the text, but that'll be next. I think that it's brilliant. And the way I see it is he's putting this in such a childlike way that it kind of opens my heart like a little girl. Thanks, Audrey.
Well, thank you so much, Sharon. I agree about the whole it's for adults, because the way I look at it is we are all looking at that inner child. To me, that's what I'm seeing this thinking mind
Yes.
as almost
Yes.
is like this kid who wants attention.
Right.
And
We're lost here. Yeah, we are.
yeah. It's
we
like
come here and we
children's
think-
edition is the inner child's
Yes.
edition.
Yes. And I want to tell you, I have so many books on the inner child way before the course came into my life, and I was scared because I think at the time, who was scared? The ego. But at the time, depending like what you've stuffed away, you don't even understand this stuff. But to me, like the reason I've loved my life, even when I didn't have the course, was because I taught children art. And there was always fun. I was always playing. It was never serious. So for me to say, I really don't know, of course, I have an ego that thinks it does, but it's just what you said, Audrey. It's that inner child. That's the part that just wants to be held in love. And this book is just, I love his stuff. I also love children's shows and children's movies and all that. And, the one thing that, Jesus gave us was come as little children.
Yes. Yes, that curiosity, that innocence, be as that little child that just can just absorb a miracle, because as the inner child, we can say, I don't want to be adult. The adulting sucks. And it's not about well, it is and isn't about growing up. It's like Peter Pan, that movie, where the dad is just so hung up on his work and he's just not even ever present with his family. He forgot who he was. He's freaking Peter Pan. We're Peter Pan.
We all are, yeah. I mean, I do. I love children's movies, and I really think that being an adult can suck if you really think this is real, because there's so much failure that the ego throws our way. And we think we're doing it, and we're not. It's a screen of just concepts.
Yeah. Well, the sparkly edition for 24 says miracles enable man to heal the sick and raise the dead, because he made sickness and death himself and can abolish both. You are a miracle, capable of creating in the likeness of your creator. Everything else is only your own nightmare and does not exist. Only the creations of light are real. Re-emphasizing the famous quote, nothing real can be threatened. And I'm just, nothing real can be threatened. What's the next line? I've drawn a blank.
Nothing unreal exists.
Thank you. Jeepers, I just drew the blank. Unreal, because nothing unreal exists. I don't even say it now. Hey, how about that? Because it doesn't even exist. That was funny. 24, wow. Anybody else have something to say about the fact that we are super miracle makers? This is our birthright. We are the miracle. We are just here to make that right choice every moment. I love this.
I like the pretend dead stuff.
Yeah.
That's a nice way of saying raise the dead. Because when raise the dead, it sounds very I don't know, grandiose when you first read that.
Yeah.
Raise the dead. Oh yeah, sure. That'll be the day when you first read that. When I first read that, I was like, when I first read the course, that was a bit much. I was like, all right, fine, we'll see what we'll see. But this is kind of nice. If someone told me that when I was a kid, we can fix the dead stuff. It might have been a little different. It was kind of cool.
I like the I when I heard that, just like when it was being read, I thought of the Pet Cemetery movie, Stephen King, and I was like, yeah, I'm not sure I want that pretend dead stuff coming back anyway.
The movies too.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right, awesome. Anybody want to read 25?
I have a question for the group. We're about halfway through the miracle part, and what I'd like to know is, are you finding it redundant? Is there a redundance to the fact that she's using certain terms, that certain terms are being used here over and over again, things like that? And does it bother you, or is there anything that we can look at or shift that's going to help you more? I think that's a question for the group.
Well, what a great question, Ricky. I love that. I think for me, because of the fact that we have the children's edition on there, I think that the repetition of the words is perfect. And it allows us to move along with it. Like we're called these, hey there, little explorer, hey there. Like I feel very spoken to and recognize that part of me, that little kid self. I like it so far. I don't find anything distracting. I think I did share one thing at the start, that I had this word, but I got over it. And then nothing else for me. Anybody else? What a great question. Please just unmute yourself. I didn't see it.
I think it was fine. It's very much like the course. I mean, the course is very repetitive. The miracle principle is very, very repetitive. He repeats things over and over again with the intention, I think, of making it sink in. I mean, the whole course is repetitive. It's very circular. So I think it's fine. It's very keeping. That's one of the things that's kind of cool about it. It's in keeping with the tone and the beats of the course. So I think you guys are right on. So let's.
Yep. Thank you, Rev Wayne. Anybody else?
I can read if you don't mind.
Absolutely, please.
And thank you for your answers. That's very helpful. 25, miracles, the super chain of forgiveness. Let's talk about something super cool called miracles and how they're like puzzle pieces that fit together to make something awesome called atonement. Imagine atonement as a big magical jigsaw puzzle, and each miracle you do is like a piece that makes the picture complete. And guess what? This puzzle works not just here, but in all the cool dimensions of time, like different adventures in a video game. Now there's a superhero, and that's me. I'm here to help you with atonement, just in case you need a hand. When you share a miracle with someone, it's like sharing a piece of this puzzle with them. And guess what? You're not just helping them, you're helping yourself and me too. I'm here at the end of the puzzle to make sure everything turns out awesome. My job is to erase all the not so nice stuff that happens because people forget to love each other. Instead of calling it sin, we should say lack of love, because that sounds much nicer, right? There are no real monsters or threats, just stuff people made up. It's one of my favorites. Thank you so much.
Oh, beautiful. I love that. Thank you, Ricky. Okay, we'll tell you one thing that bothers me is that there isn't a space between like the other ones have a space. So there you go. I told you something bothers me right here. No space.
One more time, tell me slow. I'm right here at the source. I'm going to change it as you tell me. So what is it, please?
Well, there's no space here. We need a space.
Where?
After 25. The end of 25, between 25 and 26.
Okay, it doesn't show up here, and I'll make sure we put an extra one in just for you. It's done.
Yes, not an
Thank you.
extra one, just one. Unless it starts at a new page. Maybe it starts at a new page.
That could be why, but
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with doing it. Thank you.
Thank you. There you go. All the editing stuff, I really like that. Okay, so did we read do you want me to read 25 from the Sparkly? I will. Miracles are part of an interlocking chain of forgiveness. Love that, interlocking chain of forgiveness. That's like a puzzle, which when completed is the atonement. You know, I like that they're using the word atonement. At first, I was like, that's a big word. But, you know, I think it's important to have the big word. Just like, you know, some parents use the word for body parts. That is the word. Some parents use maybe just a different word, not the adult word. But I love that now I'm loving that atonement is in there, because it's just getting that word associated with what is happening here, and that's important to know that word. That atonement is what we're here doing. So okay, the process works all the time and in all the dimensions of time. I am in charge of the process of atonement, which I undertook to begin. When you offer a miracle unto any of my brothers, you do it unto yourself and me. The reason you come before me is that I do not need miracles for my own atonement, but I stand at the end in case you fail temporarily. The purpose of my part in the atonement is the canceling out of all lacks of love, which men could not otherwise correct. The word sin should be changed to lack of love, because sin is a man-made word with threat connotations, which he made up himself. No real threat is involved anywhere. Nothing is gained by frightening yourselves, and it is very destructive to do so. Wow. This Sparkly edition has really given me a lot more to chew on. So I'm appreciative of that. Anybody for 25? Comments?
Puts a whole new spin on the eternal hell, doesn't it? The whole thing, what you just said, the last thing you just said was about he's not into punishment or torture at all. Right? What was the last thing you just said? What was the last thing you just read? The end 25. It says to call it sin, we should say lack of love, because it sounds much nicer.
Yeah.
There's no well. You just the last thing you read in the course. The last thing you just read at the end and it's put in Sparkly. But it put a whole new spin on the idea of punishment, God punishing people after death.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no real threat. It's imagined. We're imagining this sinning person, and we're threatened because we're doing all this stuff wrong. And what is gained by that? It's all imagined in my mind. It is very destructive. I can tell you that. I've lived that. Where I'm like, what the hell? I don't understand why I'm acting like this or being like this. I had this awareness even when I watched the people around me that were like that, like this anger, or just this whole ancestral upbringing we have. And it was like, I just became enraptured with it and took it on as who I was, and it's very scary. It is very scary when I believed it. And I don't want kids to feel scared like that, you know? Like, this is why I'm so grateful that there is a children's edition. I remember when I first was reading the course and I was like, oh, I would love to read this to my child, but I don't even barely understand it. So having this is just something I even asked for. So to me, it's a perfect unfolding in my life because I feel like I was a process of it because I thought of wanting it. So I had a thought, that was a dream in this mind, and it's happening here it is through Ricky and Reverend Devon. I mean, how beautiful. Through these other individualized expressions come a new way of understanding A Course in Miracles. It's absolutely brilliant. Thank you. So that was 25. Oh, wait, 24. What happens in here? 25. Yeah, 25. So I think we got 3 minutes left. Do we want to go on to 26? Any readers? Just read, or we can. Hello. Let's read this 26. Read it, Rev Wayne. Go ahead, Rev Wayne.
Miracles, freedom from fear, and super duper helpers. Hey there, Miracle Superhero Cape that helps us break free from fear. You know what atonement really means? It means undoing, just like when you unlace your shoes. So when we do miracles, we're like magic shoelace untiers for fear. The whole point of atonement is to bring back everything to you, like finding all your favorite toys that you forgot you had. You see, when you were made, you got a treasure chest for everything, just like everyone else. When you remember this, you become a superhero too, part of a big team called Atonement. We're all super duper mission to spread love and make things light. Our mission slogan is listen, learn, and do. First, we listen to the kind of voice inside of us that's like a superhero mentor. Then we listen to fix mistakes. Then we learn to fix mistakes, just like we learn a new game. And finally, do something to make things better, like sharing with a friend. You know what's awesome? The power to do miracles is already inside of you. I'll give you a chance to use it, but you need to be ready and willing, like a brave knight getting ready for a quest.
Nice. Brave knight. That was great, eh? Any comments, Rev Wayne?
Well, this is that was kind of a very motivational one. I felt motivated at the end of the one. I felt like I was ready to go off into an adventure. Very much. Most of them are very much like that, but that one specifically freedom from fear and super duper helpers. Freedom from fear. I mean, right off the bat, freedom seeker. Whenever freedom's involved, that's the ultimate. Freedom is the ultimate. Because that word means everything. It means everything you want. The word is like it's like a trigger for at least it always was for me. When I hear freedom, I think getting every trap there is. The whole point is to bring everything to you. All your favorite toys. I used to love that when I came home at night and you look back, you look at your stuff to see what's there. You remind yourself of all the toys you have, and it's a great feeling.
Indeed. Indeed.
I just lost, I think, last year.
That's beautiful. Thank you, Rev Wayne. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. This is just a wonderful opportunity, a wonderful hour. I'm grateful to be a part of it, and thank you for joining us today, Thursday, February 8th, the love month. And have a great rest of the day, because we're all just going to be looking at our minds for those thoughts that no longer belong, because we know of a better way. We're blessed. Thank you.
Thank you, Audrey. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, you guys. It's been really wonderful. I've just been kind of listening. I was on the phone with my son. He's telling me all his family all have norovirus, which is very, very awful. So him and his the whole family are, very sick in their tummies. So any prayers for them are helpful. We'll be working some miracles, but thank you so much, Ozzy, for carrying on, and thank you everybody for joining us. And